For
Is it
those of you that are
working?
here, yeah, I think we're good, babe.
Hey,
I think we're good.
you look phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Stop.
It's worth the
Oh.
wait.
Yeah, guys, I made him wait like all day to see what I look like before this live. I was
Yeah,
like, you got to keep them anticipating. Welcome to Love at First Sight, you guys. I'm Lenice. This is Kelvin. We just met online a couple months ago, and pretty much we want to share the love. We want to spread positivity on your timeline, change the stigma of online dating and
that's
long
right.
distance relationships, and possibly potentially play matchmaker. If you're single and you kind of want to speak on your experience, feel free to send us a DM. If you're a couple that has had a success story of online dating, shoot us a DM as well. We'd love to hear your stories and just highlight that and spread positivity. So, very excited.
Very excited to share this with the world.
Mm-hmm. And you guys, we're going to try to save the questions for after the live. If you do have a question, feel free to use the question tab, just so it pops up in the bubble and we can answer that. You know, we'll be looking at the comments, but if you could save your questions for the end, feel free to just have commentary or just chime in if you're just tuning in. But we'll go ahead and invite our guest. We have Heal with Ken. She is a relational trauma specialist, specializes in communicating about anxiety, depression, relationship issues, and we're just so happy to have her. She met her husband, now husband, on Match.com. So we just love to hear success stories about online dating, and she's just going to speak to her experience. So we'll invite her up now.
Hi. Hey.
Hey, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. So, as I was saying, this is Ken. If you could give us a little intro about you.
Yes. So about me personally, I work with individuals dealing with relationship issues. So I'm a psychotherapist and I'm based out of Atlanta. And I think I heard you say this, but I met my boo on Match.com. And so we've been married. We got married this year in July of this year. So that's Bay. So I'm here to talk all things him and us.
Yes.
Yeah, and just all things love. That's just my passion. It's just Black love. I love it so much. I love love in general, but I'm just particularly,
Understood.
interested in Black love.
Yeah.
Hey, we rooting for everybody
And,
Black.
Yeah.
okay.
Ain't nothing like
And
it.
healing. Yes.
That's right.
So,
Okay.
yeah. And I
Well,
don't
we're
know.
so
What else
glad
do
to
you want to
have
know
you.
about me?
Yes. We want to plug in Black business because Black love and
Okay.
Black business go hand in hand. Okay.
Right.
Can't have
Yes.
one without the other. So I know that you're a part of a corporation, Trust to Change. Could you speak a little bit about that?
Yes. So Trust to Change is my private practice. We work primarily with Black people, but we work with minorities, anybody marginalized, so LGBTQIA, just anybody that's marginalized is the population that we work with. We have a Latina therapist, we have Black therapists, we have male therapists, we have female therapists, and yeah, we're just all about just healing. We do a lot of trauma work in the community, and so yeah, and that the name of my practice is Trust to Change. So, if y'all are in Atlanta area and you are looking for something for us, by us,
Yes, I'm gonna
then,
pin that.
that's the
Understood.
Is
place to
it
be.
okay? I'm gonna pin that now. Trust two, the number two, and then change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna pin that in the comments, just so people can check you out, because we all need some relational healing.
Yes, we
Okay.
Okay.
do.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's great to be in
Absolutely.
love, but just kind of working through past traumas. Maybe you are just trying to mask something that you went through, and it comes out in your other relationships, not even intimate ones, but business relationships,
Absolutely.
friendships. So Samantha said,
You
"Help
should
us,
help us. And
please."
shout out to
Uh,
Samantha. Samantha is an amazing esthetician. We are in the same suite together. She's my
Mhm.
business partner. So she's awesome too. Shameless
Okay.
plug right quick.
No, hey, no shame. We love that.
hey,
I know a lot
nothing
of
wrong with
shows,
that.
try try to stay on task. Some shows that inspired me to do this, and a lot of times when people try to plug in their business, they're like, okay, enough of that. We didn't come here for that. But no, like, please talk about, what you do. If you want to chime in, Samantha, and just, kind of at your page, yeah, for the people in the comments. So, okay.
And she's also, that long distance love too. So she kind of get it. So I'm glad you're here, girl.
Okay.
We're going to talk all about it.
Okay. Thank you for that intro. Like I said, you guys check out Trust the Change. So let's get into this. How did you and your husband, DJ, correct?
Yes.
How did you guys meet? Let's talk about that.
So we met on Match.com. I had just gotten out of a relationship earlier that year. I took like a hiatus where I was just like, I'm done. I'm just not gonna talk to nobody. I'm not. Just to say, my last relationship ended pretty abrupt. So I'm gonna just keep it there. And he's not here to say this, but his relationship before me, it was, I guess, kind of maybe, something for him too. And so we were both healing and trying to work through our own stuff, doing our own therapy. Shout out to therapy. And just figuring out our stuff when we came together. So I don't think we were like really, if I'm being honest, I don't know if we were ready to be in a relationship. But somehow we found each other. It just kind of worked from there. So I was on this app for probably about 30 days. And I'm not saying, ladies, that it's going to be that easy or that quick. But I literally hopped on and I was like, I'm going to do the 30-day trial. Like, I'm going to give it 30 days. No, well, you know what? No, it wasn't a trial because Match.com, you have to pay and it ain't cheap. And so I was like, let me jump on here and I'm going to give it 30 days. And if it's like trash, I'm going to just throw it away. And I met my husband. So there we go.
So it worked out.
It worked out. Yeah.
Did you use any other apps besides Match?
Yeah, so well at that time I had done some online dating before. I don't even want to say the apps that I've been on,
What happened to the shameless plug? You don't want to plug them?
It's okay.
I guess we can plug some of these other apps.
They ain't paying us yet, but
I'm sure y'all heard of like the plenty of fishes in the world, and oh Lord.
My mom actually met her husband on Plenty of Fish.
Okay, look, there we go. Plenty of Fish gets a bad rep, but I had fun. And, if we talk about that later, that is one of the things that I always encourage people, even my clients that come in and they're like, I don't want to online date. Like, people crazy. I'm like, girl, them same people that's online is in these streets. So whether you meet them in person or online, they can still be crazy, right?
Exactly.
So, I would say I had fun. That was the biggest thing I take away from dating is I always tried to make it fun. Even if I got to text my sister and be like, girl, look at this shit that this sent me.
So, did you feel as though your family or your sister in that sense, did she have some influence over, I guess, your dating decisions? Like, if you're sharing a profile that, this guy that you're interested in, did your sister have some type of influence? Like, girl, don't do it. Or did you kind of...
Yeah, for sure. We would be like, girl, I'd be like, look at this. And vice versa. Absolutely. Look, get your circle involved sometimes. When it's healthy, you got to know who to send it to for sure.
And I always wonder how often women do that.
We do it. Just to let you know.
A lot.
Yeah.
So y'all don't? You mean to tell me like y'all guys don't do that?
I never have. Like if I'm interested in someone, I'm going to pursue them. I don't look for their opinion. There has been an occasion where I might get how do you feel about her? And I'm like, if you like it, I love it. If that's what you want. It's not my opinion doesn't matter. But that's how I feel.
Look, we ain't all evolved like that. We ain't there yet. I love it though. And I will say this, when it came to like us dating, the person I was serious with, so you know, with my husband, I did just I dated him and we figured that stuff out before I let other people kind of influence it. I think the first person that ever asked us, maybe we were, I think at like a family function or something, and his cousin or somebody was like, "How did y'all meet?" And I was like, "Ooh," that's when it was still kind of like, "Do we tell people we met
Taboo.
online? Like, what is this?"
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Well, ask him." That was my first thing. I was like, "Well, ask him." Your
I think we
family.
were talking like pre-interview. Me and Ken were saying like, you remember those Black people meet commercials? Like they'd be like, "Where'd y'all meet?" They'd be like, "Oh, we met sand surfing. We met ski divers, skiing." And it's like at the end of the commercial, they're like, "Where'd y'all meet?" They said, "Oh, we met on blackpeoplemeet.com." And they were like, "Oh yeah, we did too." Why was it so taboo? Like,
I
I don't know.
know. It's so taboo, and it's like it's so common, especially being in Atlanta. Like we busy. We real busy. Okay, we got careers, we got lives, and so
everyone has 3
sometimes
jobs.
it's
Everybody's a
hard.
bottle girl.
Okay,
Everybody door dashing, posting,
okay,
and in corporate America. Like you live in Atlanta, you got 4, 5, 6 jobs just to live here. So
Wow.
we don't have time to go out and
absolutely.
date. We need, in my free time when I'm laying in bed, let me look at this app real quick. Like let me give to my dating life, I guess, an hour or so, swiping left or
Okay,
right. So I
yeah.
love that the wave is changing and the stigma on online dating. It's not creepy. It's not weird. If you're busy and you're focused on your life, it actually kind of gives you a little freedom to kind of thoughtfully look through this person's profile. What do they want to tell you? What
Yeah,
information did they want to put out there? And you're kind of
yeah.
able to make a sound decision, not on the fence and not so pressure. You're able to kind of like, calmly
Mhm.
make a thoughtful decision. So, okay. I love that. I
Absolutely.
love that. Um, so I guess you already answered. Like, what were you looking? Were you looking for love at the time? You said you had got a relationship. You just kind of wanted to trial it out, little 30-day trial.
Yeah, I think in my mind, I told myself I was like, oh, I'm ready. Like I want to date again. But in reality, when I look back on where I was, I
Mm.
don't think that either one of us was super ready. But I think that that's why it worked
Mm.
because we was just chilling. We just got to know each other. We just, he became my homie, and it just kind of blossomed from there. I don't think I like fell in love with him. I kind of grew in love.
Mm.
And that was different from the other people I've dated in the past where maybe you kind of fall quick. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with falling quick because that's beautiful. But I
Right.
think for me, it was one of those things where we didn't put a lot of pressure and expectations on each other. So it just kind of vibed and flowed. And sometimes it's harder to do the older you get.
I understand
Right.
that.
Yeah.
If it's okay if I ask, what were the signs? I guess you noticed that neither one of you were ready.
And I would say that I think that took time as we kind of went through it,
Hmm.
and looking back on it. I think in that moment, I didn't know that we
Okay.
weren't. In my mind, we were both ready and we were,
Right.
in it. But when I look back on it, I think some of the signs was just willing to compromise.
Mm.
Hmm.
I was so independent and used to doing my own thing,
Yeah.
and he was the same. And he
This
was
ain't
the
gonna work.
same.
This ain't gonna
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
So the reality of what it takes to be in a relationship, to be in a healthy relationship, you can't be selfish. You
Mm.
have to be willing to compromise. You got to be willing to be vulnerable and step out of your comfort zone. And I think that's where um, those were some of the kinks we had to work out through the years, for
That's
sure.
a good question. I guess next question, like what was different about him that made you kind of want to compromise? I mean, to be comfortable, I don't know, that person kind of has to be worth it, I guess, right? Like
Hmm.
what about him kind of made you let your guard down, because we're not doing that for just anybody. What made
Like,
DJ different?
Exactly.
he was consistent. He
Mm.
was very consistent. And sometimes when you're dating, consistency, maybe somebody starts off good and they slow down. So for him, he always planning dates. He was
Woo.
always like, let's go out, very intentional
Yes.
about let's do something. It was never a all we do is Netflix and chill, or I can't answer the phone when you call. Like the communication was consistent, the dating, the courting, all of that. And so I was like, oh, I just fell for that. Like, well, I don't want to say fail because again, I said I grew, right? So I think
You tripped a little bit.
I
guess I'm in love.
And this is a busy guy, right? Like my husband, that dude is busy. He's ambitious. He was, in his organization, he would do community service. He worked. He just finished, shout out to him. He just finished his PhD. He's teaching. That's my baby. I'm proud of him.
Yeah. Educated man.
And through all of that, like he was still consistent. Like there was never an excuse. Like I'm busy. I got too much stuff going on. He still would find time to see me. He still would find time to, we would answer talk. We couldn't text a lot, but we would send voice memos to each other, which was cute. Like we didn't do like because it's like it takes too much to text sometimes, and you working, and I'm busy too.
Oh yeah.
So he would just record a message and send it to me, and then I record a message and send it back, and that's kind of our thing. Because we couldn't talk on the phone because again we busy.
Yeah.
But you just you figure it out. Yeah. Yeah. And so I think that stuff kind of was what stood out for me is that despite being busy, he really showed the effort. Yeah. So, yeah.
Kelvin, do you have anything to add from that male perspective? Look, so men out here, they willing. Men out here willing. If he wanted to, he would. Kelvin, do you agree with that? Just based off what she said? But
Oh, without a doubt.
Here, sis, if y'all out here, y'all out there and anybody single, they are out here. Sis. They consistent.
The biggest thing is consistency. I think even Lanice will attest to that. I don't think there was a day after we connected. April 17th, we had our first conversation, and it's just been continuous. The voice messages, the calling. We check in every single morning before and after work. It really is effortless if you want to make the connection with someone.
For sure.
And that's honestly, I feel like all women, all people in general, but women especially, we just need that consistency, affirmation, reassurance, like, hey, do you like me? Yes or no? Because I can attest to previous relationships, I was so in the dark. I didn't know if you liked me. So here I am overdoing things and overcompensating because I'm so in the dark, which not all men are this smart and manipulative to do this. But if you think about in high school, let me pretend I don't like her so she tries hard. And, that little girl in me that was unhealed from that, I would do that so much, just like. And then when I kind of woke up and I'm grown, I'm like, you know what? If he really liked me, then he called.
That's
if
real.
He really liked me, he texted. So just putting that plug in there, I love that. I love that about you guys. He was consistent and he knew what he wanted and he went after it. And it's simple as that, ladies. When they know, they know.
Absolutely.
And you never have to question it. If you have to question it, you got your answer right there. So
yeah. And I was thinking of another thing too, is his like willingness for us to like have conversations. Like we had conflict or we had any type of issues, it wasn't a dismissive, well, I'm sorry you feel that way type of bullshit. It was he really tried to hear me, even if I was being irrational, right? And vice versa. Because, if he was being irrational, well, what I felt like was irrational, because his feelings are his feelings. Let me put on my therapy pad again. Still working on my personal stuff, but yeah, if I felt like he was being irrational, or if he, maybe felt like I was being irrational, we still tried to hear each other and just reminded each other, okay, even that may have been how you felt in that moment, but me, I'm not malicious. I don't have any ill will for you. So let's really work through this and figure out how we can, like, what's at the root of it, what's triggering this, and maybe that's therapeutic and it's the therapist in me as far as conflict resolution.
Yeah.
But he was always really good at hearing me and being like, you know what, I hear you, that's fair, and let's figure out what we're gonna do to, like, correct it, and just patience with that as we both navigated our own trauma. Because one thing, some things about Black love, and I don't want to group all Black love together, but sometimes we are still healing. We ain't gonna blame the baby boomers, but we still kind of healing from them a little bit.
I mean, but honestly, I love your position that you're speaking out of, because you are a trauma specialist. Like, you see many people, so you've got basically a case study. All right, most of the people that come in here actually see this, like, firsthand. People who are coming in and seeing you, like, damn, this is happening a lot. Not just speak, like, in general.
You gotta be realistic with your expectations around dating, and that it's not always gonna work out. And some people go out there with this expectation that it's supposed to work out, and if it don't, it's like, oh, dating sucks. No, dating is dating. Like, dating is dating. It's trial and error. It's some stuff is not gonna work out. Some stuff is. I had a major traumatic breakup before, this relationship. So my life ain't been peachy, clean. I thought I was gonna be married at 30. That was a joke, right? I'm 33. I met my husband when I was 29. And he was 30. He thought he would be married. So sometimes you just got to recognize that your plan and what you desire from, like, your life to look like, that might not be what God, and I ain't gonna bring God into it too much, but I do a little bit,
Yeah.
That may not be his plan for you. And if you take yourself out of the running because you are disappointed, you're hurt, then you're guaranteed to be alone. But sometimes you just got to kind of keep putting yourself out there, and maybe even go, again, I'm a pro, advocate for therapy. But if you find yourself, continually attracting certain types of people, I'm not saying that you are the total issue, but maybe it is something that you're putting out there, or maybe it is something that you may be attracted to, your attachment, all of these things that may be influencing those connections with people. And so just go figure that out, and not even for dating, but so you can be a healthiest version of yourself, because you can go attract somebody, but is it going to be the person that you really want and desire?
Or
need, yes. And so if I would have got my way, I would not be with my husband, and I don't know, that would be ghetto. So, so I'm glad that, I didn't, the stuff that I wanted so desperately to work out did not work out. I'm grateful.
That's a bar. Without my husband, it would have been ghetto.
Ghetto. So,
well, I guess at this time, we'll just open the floor for questions. You guys have any questions for Ken? Thank you so much for just, being transparent with us.
Yes. Thank you. Man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank y'all for this platform. This is really good. I think we need to see more of this. This is, again, how we heal and find love. We have to feel like it's possible. We have to see people who have been in maybe similar situations as us when it comes to relationships. Because sometimes if we don't see it, we don't believe it's true, and that also impacts, like, what we do out here. So, yeah.
Oh, thank you, Janice. Shout out to Jacob. No, that's really good insight. That's really good insight. That's true. And then, if you don't see it, you don't believe it. And I think a lot of us, instead of, patronizing these tea and gossip channels that just don't do anything for Black excellence and excelling the Black population and community, I think they need to start tuning in, not to plug in our channel, but, giving some more positive platforms like this. Maybe you'll have a different outlook on life, because just your diet is more than what you eat. Well, nutrition plug. is what you consume, you know, it's the people that are around you and what you just feed your soul. And if you're not around that, man, I've had to cut some friends off. I asked that question earlier because I was around people, you know, I was sitting in the dating app profiles, girl, he ugly, don't do that. And I missed out on so many things because I was just surrounding myself by people that just weren't there and we weren't equally yoked, even as friends. So I love that you said that. We just need to surround ourselves with more positivity and just positive people. Yeah, if you guys don't have any questions for Ken, like she plugged in earlier, she is a trauma specialist. So trust to change. Let's trust the number 2 change. Get with sis. Let's heal. Okay. Let's work through it. And maybe like she said, you got to heal first before we could just jump into these relationships. And get a little crazy.
It goes all into manifestation, right? Whatever you put out into the world is what you're going to receive. So if you put out positivity, if you put out love, and I'm not saying don't have no boundaries, okay? That ain't what I'm saying. Not saying be a people pleaser. What I'm saying is if you put out, like, people can see, they can tell if you're happy with yourself. They can tell if you out here being a mean girl, gossiping, always envious and jealous of other people, that is not going to help you receive the love that you are entitled to. Because people always say, you deserve this love. No, you are entitled. We all are entitled to find love and find connection because that's human nature, is to connect with other people. And so just put that out there. Just know that, live in that. If you can't wrap your head around that, get with somebody who can help you wrap your head around that. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, thank you. Yes. Our first successful show. Kelvin, do you have anything else to add? Look, you know I overtalk. I've been asking you. I've been trying to work on that because I'm aggressive too.
No, I think we're good. I think we covered everything.
Yeah. Oh, Janice said, "Ooh, the entitlement without the work being done." Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And you guys, shout out to Jay Gotti. She is our social media manager and assistant to all the pretty flyers. You know, thank Jay Gotti. I'm really good
at her.
I'm paying a penny to do it right now, but hey, when we blow up,
we got to start somewhere, right? This is an investment. Yeah,
we got a 30-day trial with Janice, so
not the 30-day trial.
30-day trial.
She is out of it. That's funny.
We can't afford it no more. So we
just hold on. Just hold on.
They really do look good. Oh, thank you, Leah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for the love, because we can't look. I looked on Fiverr. I was like, $300 for an assistant.
Girl, yeah.
We're just gonna pray. We're
gonna pray about it.
But we want to thank Ken for tuning in to Love at First Sight. As we close this out, thank you guys for tuning in. Like we said, we just found love, and so we're just trying to spread positivity. So if you're a couple that met online, we want to highlight your stories, or if you have anything to contribute. If you're also single, still looking for love, and you want to come up and talk about your dating experience, maybe we could play matchmaker. And all these full videos will be uploaded on YouTube. So yeah, we'd love to have you on our show. Just shoot us a DM, just a little bit about you, and we'll go from there. But thank you so much, Kim, for tuning in. Until next time. Maybe we can get hubby on here next time.
We're gonna try. He was on board up until like literally an hour, 2-3 hours ago.
It's okay. It's okay.
I was hoping he was going to pop in at some point.
I was surprised he even said yes initially. He is not a in front of the camera person, but we'll see. I might get him to come on here next time.
Okay. Well, we'll be checking on you. Look, we followed you now, so we're following everyone that comes on the show, because we want to keep up with your story, and we want to see where this love goes, and just keep staying encouraged and inspired by you guys. So thank you guys for tuning in to Love at First Sight. Until next time, guys.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah.